Okay, Mr. J, drawing a bender unit. So we're going to bring a picture frame in first of all. Find this picture frame, as you well know. Find the bender unit, pull him in. Okay, so scale a little bit bigger. Hold down Shift and drag the red button, something like that. Now let's move him over the center of the world, find the center of his thing there. Move him to F4, which is centered over the center of the world. And let's pick him up. Alright, so for this one we're going to use sweep and we're going to use rail revolve. So I'm going to lock the image so we can't select it. And we're going to use our curves, arcs, and lines and circles for this one. Alright. So the first thing we need is a line straight through the middle of the bender unit. So we're going to go to lines, we're going to draw a straight line because we're going to mirror everything from the one side to the other. Straight down to the bottom there. Alright. Now, mister, we're going to start with, I guess, with an arc. Alright, so let's start with an arc with the handle, go from there to there, and pull it out like that. Then we need a straight line down to here. Well, while we're with the arcs, let's finish the arc work. Pull it out to there. We need a straight line. So we're going to draw a line here from the end of that to the end of that. If you don't see that end snap coming on, turn it down over here. You see the little end there? You've got to click on that to make it go. Now we need another arc from here to here, from there to there. So let's go arc. I'm going to pull arc out. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to pull lines out. I'm going to put it here because it's easier to find what we want. Alright, so we want a straight line from here. So a straight line from here, straight up to about, let's have a look, to about there. And then we want an arc from there to there. And we're going to pull it out. Alright, so now we need an arc from here to here. So I'm going to snap from that end, come out to here. And give it some curvature. We need a straight line from here to here. So, oops, a straight line from there to there roughly. And we need an arc from there to there. So let's go something like that. Alright, so that's the first half of the bender unit over there. Let's grab it, let's join those lines up. Oops, not that. Let go of the middle one. So we're going to go join. Type the command join, or you can look for it in the main. It looks like two little puzzle pieces going together. Alright, now that we've got that bit done, we can do a rail revolve. Okay, or we can do a revolve. So you highlight the curve and you type in revolve. Start of the revolve axis is the bottom of the first curve, the end of it is the top of the first curve, and press enter twice. Okay, so now what will happen is if you look on the other side, let's shade that up. We've created a body shape for our friend Mr. Bender. Alright, so now let's do the arms and the legs, which are also very, very simple to do. We need to create an arc, two arcs over there. We need to create a straight line and an arc here. So let's start. Remembering you only need to do the one half because we can mirror it over to the other end. So let's start with an arc from here to here. And we start with an arc from there to there, like that. Now we need a straight line from here to there. We need another straight line from there to there, and we need an arc from here to here. Oops, see, that's no good. Let's try another one. Zoom in a little bit. Doesn't cost money to zoom, you just bring it over. Alright, then we need one down the bottom here too, from there to there, and like so, I guess. Alright, now we need an arc from here to here for his hand. We need another arc from there to there for his hand, and we need an arc to finish the hand. Something like that. Alright, actually we don't need this arc because we're going to use a circle for that. So let's join these guys up. Remember, you can type join, or you can click join up there. Alright, now let's draw the lines for this guy. We need a straight line. Actually, while I've got that up, I'm going to pull the ends into the body. because the body is round, so the ends are going to need to stick in a little bit for the booleans to work a little bit later on. I'll explain to you once we get there. Alright, so same thing here. We're going to need a straight line from the end of the leg here to into the body through there. We need another one from here into the body through there. Now we're going to need an arc from here to here, and we're going to need an arc from here to here. Alright, so let's join those up. Alright, so we could revolve the first part of the body. For the second part here, we're going to have to do a sweep, and his arm is round, so that's not as difficult as it sounds. So we're going to use the circle. We're going to go circle from 2 points, go from that point to that point. So now we have a circle at the hand, and we need one at the foot as well. So another circle from this point to that point, and now we can do our sweeps. So you grab this curve, and you run sweep 2 using this circle. Okay, and so now you have one arm. Now let's do the same thing down the bottom here. We grab you, and we grab you, and we run a sweep 2, remembering right click starts the last command. Okay, so let's cap these, because at the moment they're hollow. Alright, when I say hollow, they don't have any, they're not a solid yet. So grab that, type cap, and it turns it into a solid. Do the same thing over here. Grab that, type cap, turns it into a solid. We'll do the fingers in a minute. So to make the fingers, we need a circle. It has 3 fingers, so let's put one finger like that. And we're going to polar array these. Array polar around the center, which is about there, and we want 3 items. Alright, so done. So take those 3 fingers, let's move them down to the hand area, which is about there, and let's run an extrude. So how long his fingers are, something like that, I guess. Yep. Alright. Alright, so that's the arm done. So let's grab all the components of the arm and let's Boolean union them. Shortcut is BU. Oops. Alright, so that's taken all those things and it's joined them up into one thing. We can now mirror that arm over to the other side. We can mirror over any central point that you have. And so now you have 2 arms. Let's sort out the leg. I'm going to mirror that too. I'm going to mirror it over any central point, like so. Alright, so now we have arms, legs, body. We'll sort out the eyes last. For now, let's draw this shape. So for this shape, I want a box, I guess. I want a box from center. Center is about here. Doesn't really matter, because we're going to use edit points to fix it. Alright, once it's out, press the F10 key, so you get your edit points. Take these 2 edit points, scale them larger to about there. Grab those 2 edit points, let's move them up, and scale them smaller a tad. Alright. Then we've got to soften those edges up, because he actually has a round thing over there, not a... Let's grab a circle for the door, like so. And let's soften these edges, so fillet corners. Now fillet creates a curvature, so that looks like, remembering that a unit here is 1 millimeter, so that looks like about a 1 millimeter curvature to me. So I'm going to leave fillet on 1 and let's have a look. No, it was too much. So we do it again, we go 0.75, close enough. Alright, now we need to get these onto the body, because at the moment they're in the middle on the ground plane where we were drawing. So it's in there, which is the middle of the body. We need to project it onto the body so that we can work with it. So let's grab you, and the command is project. Right, so we project that onto the body, enter, and so what you'll see now is that you have a curve that follows the body shape. Let's put this on ghosted so we can see what we're doing. you see that you now have a curve that follows the body shape for the handle, and this is the front here. Alright, so we want to work with this curve, and we want to work with this curve, and we want to pipe them. Pipe radius, I'm guessing we want it fairly small, 0.5, too fat still, 0.25, still a bit fat I think, Control Z, 0.1, okay, so what that is, we're just putting a line into the model so that we can see that it's a door. So I'm going to take the model, I'm going to Boolean difference, BD, this piece of geometry and this piece of geometry. Alright. Let's move this out of the way, and then we're going to grab those bits and pieces and delete them. Alright, so what you have is sort of a curvature, a hollowing going into the body at the moment. Let's shade that up. You can see it's sort of cut out a groove, so it looks like there's a door handle in the front. Alright, so let's have a look at the face, because that's our next problem. For the face, we have I guess we could take a circle and stretch it out. So let's make a circle, find a central point, any central point, doesn't matter. Draw a circle that's roughly going to be the right size. Let's pick that circle up. And now let's start scaling that circle. We want to scale it out this way, like so. We want to scale it out this way, like so. And at this point we need to get a bit more finicky about it, so we're going to press F10 to turn on the control points. And we're going to bring this one down. Okay, so there's a command. If your points are not great, you can rebuild the curve. So you go rebuild. At the moment you have 8 points with a flexibility of 2, which means that you get this kink. I want to keep 8 points, but I want a flexibility of 3, which means you won't get a kink. So you go OK. And so now when you press F10, you'll see that you've got a much more controllable surface. Let's bring U in there. Alright, let's grab U and U. And let's scale them outwards so we get that curvature we want there. I think that's pretty much what we need. That needs to go up a little bit, I guess. Like so. Alright, and then I think the whole curve needs to just come in just a tad. Like that. Alright, so that's more or less what we want for the glasses. Now it's got a bit of a rim there, so we need to use the command offset. I click on through point because we're working with data in the middle there, so let's go there like so. I guess there. Alright, that can stretch out a little bit, I think, like so. Alright, then we're going to need the eyeballs. The eyeballs we're going to make with the sphere, so don't stress too much about it now. So what I'm going to do with the eye, the geometry, those curves are in here at the moment, so we're going to move them forward. I think his face comes out about that far, his eyes come out something like that. Alright, we're going to copy these same curves backwards, so Control C, Control V, and let's move those into the head area so that we can blend those curves in. Alright, so I want to scale those curves smaller evenly, so I'm going to hold the Shift key, I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to scale it in so that it goes to inside the head. Alright, now let's hide this so you can see what we're doing. And we're going to do, you can either loft from here to here. I'm going to go right round and produce one piece of geometry. Command is loft from U to U to U to U. And you press enter. And we want straight sections. Preview. Okay, alright, so we have the head section. So let's show the other geometry again. And I don't know, that looks a bit wild for a bender head for me, so let's pull that back in. That looks about right, I guess. I don't know. Remember, you're the artist when you're doing this, so you have some room to be flexible about what you're planning to do. The other thing we need to do now is put some eyeballs in. Alright, so for that we're going to use a sphere. You can find it under solids and sphere with the center and the radius. Work from the middle of one eyeball and get it about the right size. Okay, let's move it there. Have a look. Are we happy with it where it is? I think it needs to move forward a bit more. Okay, and I think it can do with being scaled back a bit like this. Alright. Now the other thing we need is we now need to cut a little square out of it for his pupil, or his eye. So let's go back to the boxes. We're going to go to the main, and we're going to grab a box from center. And we're going to start from, hold down the Alt key if you're snapping onto stuff, just hold down the Alt key and drag out a square roughly the size of the eyeball. Now we're going to do the same thing we did with the body. We're going to project that onto the sphere. I'm going to project that onto the sphere. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take that curve, I'm going to move it out here. I'm going to extrude it just a little bit, and I'm going to push it into the head, into the eyeball, just a little bit like that. Then we take the eyeball, and we're going to cut that out of it. So we're going to go BD, which is Boolean difference. We're going to pick the square, and so we've cut out the little square area. So now we can, let's delete that. So now we can mirror this eye over. Mirror over any central point. Okay, so now we have Bender's eyes in there. We've got to do the mouth. Alright, so the mouth looks like a bunch of squares to me. Let's start again with a square from center. Any center point, doesn't matter. You can always move it afterwards and you can finalize the shape with edit points. So I'm going to turn on the edit points. We're going to move these two down like that. We're going to project it onto the face. And we're going to cut the face with that. Alright, so we're going to take the face and we're going to go split, which is we're going to split the geometry with that curve, which means that now we have a piece of mouth like this. So I'm going to go invert and I'm going to hide the balance. Alright, so I want to give this some thickness. So I'm going to take that, I'm going to go offset surface. We want to flip all because I want it to go inside. So look for flip all on the command line. Alright, let's look in the top down. I want it to go in about that much. It's about a 0.5 millimeter, I guess, 0.7. Okay, and we're now going to explode it. You can either type explode or you can use the explode thing up there. What that does, it takes a solid and it turns it back into its component parts. We want to delete the front part. Alright, and now we want to show the rest of the geometry, and what we've done is we've cut a hollow in for Bender's mouth. So we're going to grab all that geometry and I'm going to join it back up again. And so now the head is back in one piece. Alright, for the teeth, what am I going to do for the teeth? Alright, let me extract one surface. Let's extract a surface over here with copy. We don't want to break the geometry, we just want to copy that surface. Now again, I'm going to invert and I'm going to hide the balance. So we've only got that surface, right? So if we look what we have a line. So let's create a line. We need a single line. Where are you? We need a single line inwards. We've got another line over there, like that. And another line over there. Something. Let's miss you. I'm trying to not snap it onto like that. Alright, so let's make the teeth, if you want to call them teeth. Alright, so we know more or less where each set of teeth has to be. So let's duplicate the edges of this. Dupe edge of this face. There, 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 and there. Enter. Now we can delete that surface. Let's take all these curves and make sure that they're planar. So we're going to go project to C-plane. Let me explain why I'm doing that before I do it. Because we were snapping all over, our curves are all over the show. So we want the curves to all be on one plane instead of being up and down like that. So we go project to C-plane. C-plane is your construction plane. That's these squares that you see here. So do I want to delete that? Yes, I do. What that's done for me is put our curves nice and flat now. Alright, so now we can trim away everything we don't need. We don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that, we don't want that, because we can mirror, remember? Okay, so this and this we want to split. With that and that. Alright, so now we've got a bunch of separate curves. Okay, these two curves have to make two teeth. So what we're going to do is we're going to Control C and Control V that one. We're going to Control C, oopsie, Control Z. So we should have two curves there now, right? And Control C and Control V. Now we're going to take U and U and U and one of these two curves, and we're going to join them. We're going to take U, the balance curve that's there, and one of those two curves that's there. And we're going to join them. And then we can join the rest of these curves. And I guess he needs a gap between his teeth, so let's offset this a little bit. Just a teensy bit, just so that you get the grid of his teeth. Let's go just a little bit like that, and we'll do the same thing with this curve, and the same thing with this curve. Alright, so now we can delete the outside ones, and we're ready to do the magic. So let's grab these three, let's pick them up, straight up, above Bender's head somewhere. Let's show Bender. Oh, picked that up way too far. Alright, so let's bring that down to his mouth area, to here. We need a bit of gap on the top. Now, looking from the front, alright, we need just a teeny bit of gap on the top, and we're going to extrude this as one set of teeth there. Alright, now that we have it, we can delete the original curves. We can take this, and we can go copy from there. Let's put those set of teeth down the bottom, look more or less the same size. And let's copy another set in here. Now the set that's in here, we're going to have to scale a bit because his middle teeth look a bit bigger. Alright, so let's grab those. We grab the little green guy, and pull them out so there's a bit of a gap over there. Alright, so if we've done everything right, we should now be able to see some teeth in his mouth. Let's mirror that over any central point. And so now Bender has teeth. Alright. Now, if we were growing this, we're going to have a problem because the inside teeth for sure are not touching there. You can see they're not actually touching the back, which means these teeth would fall out of the model. So I'm going to scale them from the center of his head and just pull them back into the model a little bit, which also gives you the impression that he's got some sort of lips, so the teeth go in a bit. Okay. And essentially, my friend, that's your bending robot done. You grab the whole lot and you say Boolean union, and you can now unlock your background, move it sideways, and you have a Bender unit. Let's render you up. Alright. Happy? So I'll leave you to print that on the 3D printer tomorrow. Okay, Mr. J, that's your lesson for tomorrow. Enjoy.